Hey, good evening, ladies and gents. How we doing tonight? Everybody got through the holidays all right? God, I hate holidays. I wish we could just do away with that. It'd be great. Just get rid of them. Who needs it? I mean, it's always just such a pain in the ass. I hate to be an old grandpa fuddy-duddy about it, but hey, wait.
Kids, no good.
See, the president agrees with me as well. You know, he's also, he's doing his thing. Oh, geez, Joe, come on, man. Oh, God. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's about all that comes out of that guy's mouth. I'm just wondering what's going on here. You've got James Comer comes out with the FD 1023. Grassley comes out with all his stuff. And what are you hearing around the media? Just nothing but the whole stupid indictment on Trump. Let's get some. Trump had 102 documents. 102. Do you know how big of a that's a stack of papers about like that? Maybe even less. It's like 0.3 of an inch. It's like that. I mean, who's got Trump pegged as a fucking spy? I mean, I don't think anybody does. Except for maybe like the people that are trying to perpetuate that shit, like Hillary Clinton, who didn't catch an indictment for the Steele dossier, bleach bidding 33,000 classified emails, and then taking a hammer to the phones and all the other devices. That was fine, and she was Secretary of State, so she didn't even have executive privilege. Dipshit Biden, they find shit floating around in the Penn Biden Center, which to me is just a fucking absolute oxymoron. They call it some kind of a think tank. You can't put think tank and Joe Biden together. You just can't. And they found documents all over down there and funded by the Chinese. Weird. Why would they need to put an office for that guy in the middle of D.C.? Kind of weird. They had him at the University of Pennsylvania. He's listed as faculty, getting paid $770,000 a year, yet never taught a single class. Well, I want that gig. I mean, that's almost as good as what Elizabeth Warren had. I think she was getting $400 a semester for one class as the school's only female Native American professor. Right. Yep. So there's the evidence has been put out there. You've got the bank records. You've got 107 some odd suspicious activity reports on the Biden family. You've got 20 shell corporations. And you know what happened the other day that was really weird? The whistleblower, the accountant for Burisma that was going to come forward and give up the tape recordings and all the information. Oh, dead. Ended up dead. Just out of nowhere. Weird, huh? You think this guy is like some old bumbling Santa Claus. He's not. This dude he's been nothing but a liar. He's a con man. He's played this game of I'm so stupid, look at me, watch me stumble around, and he's used it. I mean, he's used the fact that he's a fucking, a Herman Munster to fool everybody. And y'all voted for him apparently because he's better than the Orange Man, which I don't care about either one of them, to tell you the truth. I'm sick of hearing about each of them. But on the other side of the coin, here we got a guy that has sold out the country while he was the acting vice president. All right. He begged Obama to get Ukraine so he could go over there. He watched what Hillary did. He wanted to go have his own little slice of the pie. So he figures, hey, my kid's a fucking crackhead. Why not grab him, snag him up? We'll get him over there. We'll get him a job, get him some money, and he'll give me, he'll be giving me his 10%, maybe even more than that, right? So they jump on Air Force Two. On whose dime? Who paid for that? We did. We paid for this asshole to go everywhere. Here's the guy who's talking about green energy this, green energy that. Blah, the fucking blog. I'm going to eliminate, fossil fuels, which I'm not even going to get into that thing, and we fly him around. He flew over to Ukraine, right before St. Patrick's Day, just on a whim. And then it ends up in, why are we flying him around? And he's got classified documents in his fucking garage, like next to his Corvette. Why is he allowed to have a Corvette? I thought he was all about green vehicles, electric vehicles. Why should he have a Corvette? And then they question him about it. He goes, you're Peter Ducey asked him, he goes, you had classified documents in your garage. He goes, I also have my Corvette out there. Whoopee fucking shit. You also have your son Hunter's name on the deed to that home. Did anybody know that? So here we got Hunter, right? Mr. Straight and Narrow, right? He's the one that's got a name on that house. Somehow he worked it out where he got the house for like a $50,000 a month mortgage. Who the hell pays that? Well, I guess when you're making $83,000 a month at Burisma and you're not spending $100,000 a month on cocaine and crack and hookers, then supposedly you can afford that, allegedly. And the guy's broke. That's what's funny. The dude is broke. He took $5 million from Ukraine. Joey Boy took $5 million from Ukraine. Now they played the shell game, right? Where they flip and flop and now you see it, now you don't. Through all these different LLCs, and that's what the 1023 document is all about. It's a document for a whatever it is, 5103C or whatever, a nonprofit, basically. You got to fill that out, explaining where your donations are coming from, where the money's going, what you're doing with it. It's basically if you're starting a nonprofit for profit, which is basically what nonprofits are anyways. It's just a loophole for starting a nonprofit for profit, where you just write everything off and pad your bank account. Otherwise, where did Biden get all this money? You can't be so stupid. I can't believe that everybody's so stupid as to just buy the shit hook, line, and sinker that this dude made $16.7 million in the 2 years that he was out of office. The guy can't walk. He can't talk. He can't function. He said, for fuck's sake, he said, God save the Queen earlier today. Or yesterday. I don't remember. Did you hear that? God save the Queen. What? The Queen died. What's he talking about? He doesn't have a clue. And y'all thinking that he's going to run again? I mean, good God. How much more stupid can it get? I mean, at this point right now, I think I'm throwing my hat in, if it's got to be somebody, RFK Jr. At least, this dude's got like 160 IQ. He's he's a conspiracy theorist. But, well, that's how it goes. The people with the money say this shit, This whole thing about taking the idea of conspiracy theory and making it into some kind of a dysphomistic word is absolutely ridiculous, because how many conspiracies have been correct? We have it all the time. All the time. And when you come out and you say one, you say that, hey, this could be a possibility here. The truth is always stranger than fiction. And these assholes that are paid to get up there and discredit it, they discredit this shit because they know that somebody's onto them, right? Otherwise, why would you come out? Why would people get so upset about conspiracy theories? If somebody's saying something that's so full of shit, why would these people get so mad? Right? Like RFK was on Joe Rogan's show, right? And that Hotez, that doctor who eats junk food, is overweight, doesn't exercise, doesn't believe in vitamins, but advocates for the vaccines, but like no other, is trying to get Spotify. He's trying to get Spotify to take down Rogan's interview with RFK Jr. And Rogan's like, hey, dude, why don't you come on my show? And we can do a debate. You can debate RFK Jr. right here on my show. No time limit. Anything goes, whatever. And of course, no, he won't do that because, RFK Jr., he's a shiesty lawyer. What? This guy's a candidate for the president of the United States. You want to sit there and talk shit, but yet when the gauntlet gets thrown down by Joe Rogan, they don't want to say nothing. Joe Rogan catches all kinds of flack because he takes ivermectin for the fucking COVID. They're saying he's eating horse paste when he had a prescription. And there was somebody else like that did the same thing the second time they had it. And you're looking at him. And because I mentioned it, I got fucking banned. And that thing won't go off my fucking thing. And no one ever said sorry. No one ever said we apologize. I didn't go out to Tractor Supply and fucking neck down a fucking tube of horse paste. I got a prescription. Sorry, not sorry. And it worked. In 24 hours, I was fine. So you can say what you want. That's just my personal experience. I'm not telling anybody to do one thing or another, and it's already passed and gone. We're waiting for the next one now. And don't you worry, Bill Gates is already working on it. You know, they've already got it going. They're already working on the vaccine for the new one. It's already in the oven cooking up. And it'll be coming out because the last one was just an experiment to see how many of you would break weak and do exactly what they told you to do. And guess what? The majority of you did. And you came down on your fucking neighbors and everybody else that didn't fucking follow suit with you. You wore the stupid masks around and looked like fucking idiots. Those, you know, it didn't do a thing. And I've been saying that I said that the whole time. I mean, I'm a guy that deals with VOCs. I've said this over and over. The size of that particle and the size of the, you know, the size of the N95, that thing passes right through there. Yeah, sure, it knocks it down. You sneeze, yeah, okay, it'll knock it down. But what happens when you adjust? You pull it down over your nose, you touch a handrail, you touch a door, you know, stupid. And then people wearing the cloth. I mean, it's just dumb. Everybody's so dumb, just so stupid, so quick to believe, so quick to jump on board all this bullshit. Just like with Trump. I'm not a Trumpster, but Jesus Christ, they've been coming at this guy for 7 fucking years, and they got nothing. And here you got the sitting president of the United States. I mean, they're just getting started on this. I mean, $5 million for him and his kid, just to start. They took money from Romania. I mean, they're coming out with more of these documents, and for some reason, the media doesn't say a goddamn thing about it. Why is that? Why is that? Why? How come the only thing you hear on MSDNC and these stupid ass fucking idiot fucking news stations? Now the walls are closing in on Trump again. Oh, the walls are closing. Yeah, boy, this is really damning. The guy had 102 pieces of paper. They took that fucking phony picture with, you know, they went in there and they dumped all his shit all over the place. Guess what? Trump is a fastidious fucking dude. Like, I mean, the guy might eat fucking McDonald's and drink Diet Cokes, but I mean, you know, he's. I guarantee that dude ain't a fucking slob, and I guarantee that those documents weren't all strewn about on the floor. They did that. You know, I mean, he cooperated with him every second of the way. And then, you know, you got a weaponized DOJ, and guess who's behind it? Biden's shitting his pants because Biden still can't figure out how he managed to win in 2020 to begin with. You got a weaponized DOJ. Look what the FBI did. They were colluding with fucking Twitter, Facebook, everybody. You know, oh, well, you know, saying that the Hunter Biden fucking laptop didn't happen. That it wasn't a thing, that it was Russian disinformation. Been debunked. We all knew that it was bullshit when they started with this. I mean, most people did, but there's a faction of the United States, and that's what's scary, is that over 50% of the people in this country listen to the bullshit that comes from any of these news outfits, and they buy it. And after the fact, when it came out and the Washington Post and everybody, they had to admit, oh yeah, that was real. And you look at the New York Post, they come out with the fucking thing on Twitter, and they get their account shut down right before the election. And then you have 51 intelligence fucking idiots like Clapper and Brennan sign some fucking document saying, oh, it's got the classic earmarks of Russian disinformation. And Biden gets up there at a debate and he cites that letter with 51 signatures on it. And the whole country goes, oh, it must be true. Yeah, the same fucking intelligence people that spy on you every day, that listen in on your conversations, that watching you jerk off to porn and everything else that you're doing on your phone. Yeah, that's the same outfit that's telling you that. And you just buy it. You just buy it. You just jump right in and you know, bite that worm. Get that fish hook right in your lip and, you know, let's go for a ride. And you do it over and over and over and over. And it's so fucking stupid. It's pathetic to sit here and watch. And, you know, like I said, at this point, I think I mean, I'm not gonna, I wouldn't, even if I could vote, I wouldn't vote. And I've said that before and I would stick by it. Even if I was to get a presidential pardon tomorrow, I still wouldn't fucking vote because I don't give a shit. But if I had to, at this point in time, I'd be all about RFK Jr. I mean, for one thing, the guy's a fucking, I mean, at a 160 IQ, that's impressive. I mean, you know, I've taken one of those tests before. I'm, you know, a little bit behind him, not much, but I would rather have somebody that's got some common sense and somebody that's going to be contrarian and stand up against this shit, you know. I mean, did anybody wonder about anything to do with the vaccines? Do you wonder why they had to shut down the whole idea, the whole conversation about any other medications for COVID, like hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin, which won a Nobel Peace Prize and has been administered to billions and billions of people to treat parasitic infections such as river blindness and all sorts of other things in Africa, right? Billions of doses of this have been given out. Okay? It won a Nobel Peace Prize. It's not like this is fucking what that Don Lemon asshole made it out to be. It's not fucking horse paste. It's been administered more to human beings than it has to, for veterinary circumstances. Yes, it does work in a veterinary setting. And yes, you can buy a veterinarian version of it at Tractor Supply for your horse or whatever. But that doesn't mean that's what it is. I mean, most of the medications that they give animals is the same thing that you get at the pharmacy, I mean, you can go get pretty much the same stuff, prescribed by a vet and go have that filled, and it's going to be the same thing that they give humans, to tell you the truth. Most of it, some of it not, but a lot of it, I mean, maybe some of the suppositories and that, but, some of y'all probably like that. But anyway, I mean, I'm about RFK, I mean, at this point in time, I mean, at least this dude, it has he has the wherewithal, he's got the balls to stand up. And he's not wrong. And I mean, look where he comes from. I mean, JFK and look at his father. I mean, both of them assassinated by the CIA. And I mean, he's not afraid to come out and call it. And he needs to watch himself. He said he takes measures, but he's probably got a pretty good security team, I would imagine. And he better watch himself because, I mean, you come out swinging at these people and, you start getting taken out. I mean, what happened to the whistleblower? I mean, just all of a sudden, just and they haven't even got into that. This accountant from Burisma, right? Burisma Holdings, the one that was paying $183,000 a month. Remember that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That country over there where we spent $170 billion and 30% of the weapons that we sent over there have actually made it to the battlefield. And yeah. Remember that? Remember that place? Yeah. I know you got your Ukraine flag on your fucking Facebook page and this and that. Oh, what about the million plus of your neighbors that are homeless right now? Huh? Yeah, nothing for them. But yeah, you got people coming over the border that they get put up in these badass fucking New York City hotels that they go in and destroy. But yet the homeless vet is still on the street. Anybody seeing a problem here? Anybody? Does anybody see a fucking problem here? Or are you just going to go about your daily business and get in your minivan and go to fucking soccer practice and punch in, punch out, go eat fucking Panera bread for lunch? Not give a shit that a gallon of milk is $6 and fucking fuel's even more. I mean, who cares, right? Doesn't matter. You're going to go get your fucking little thing that says I voted and you're going to go vote for, whoever your neighbors say, which it doesn't matter either way. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's funny that Trump's, he just seems to keep going up in the polls. I mean, they come at him with this fucking fake ass indictment, and then you've got two men in New York City, excuse me. You've got a young man, Mr. Williams, who's stabbed a psychopath on the train that punched his girlfriend in the face and said that he was going to kill somebody on that train car. And this young man got in a tussle with him and he ended up pulling out a knife and stabbing him twice. This guy's an ex-con. He's a psychopath. And they're looking at charging this young man. And you got, Jordan Williams, and then you've got Daniel Penny, the Marine, ex-Marine. He's on there with, I think I got the name screwed up. It was Jordan Neely, I believe. I'm trying to remember the young man's name. It was Williams, I believe was his last name. I think that those two guys need to hook up together. I think that that young man and Penny, I mean, the establishment would hate that. If you had those two guys, standing there shoulder to shoulder in front of them. Oh my God, they lose their mind. You got a young black man and a young white man, and both of them did basically the same thing. They stood up. They did what a man does. You got a psychopath on a train with all these people. I mean, look at the situation that happened with the one guy that, I mean, he raped a woman. And these people sat there and they fucking recorded it. These two guys actually did what a man is supposed to do. You're supposed to guard your trade. Dude, I can't even imagine. If some fucking guy, I mean, I don't know that I would ever even have that situation happen where I, even allowed a guy to get close enough to punch my significant other. But you punch a lady, I don't care if it's my lady, you don't do that. I don't care. I'm coming at you. And you're damn sure not going to sit there and rape a female on a train that I'm sitting on. You might be 7 feet tall and whoop my ass, but guess what? It's going to keep that from happening to that woman. And what happened? What happened to men? They all want to run around in these fucking capri pants and their little man purses and shit. Fucking little, not even men. That shit didn't used to fucking go on. That shit doesn't go on where I live. You know why? Because most of us out here in the Wild West, we're men. We're not going to put up with that shit. It ain't going to fly. It's not going to happen. And everybody out here is packing too, I mean, it's like, but we ain't got no subways and we don't have the fucking, there's a reason we don't have crime. I mean, for one thing, it's a small ass community. Everybody knows everybody. I mean, you got your shit that happens here and there, goofy shit, but I mean, like I was sitting there looking at Newsbreak earlier today and I see this article about them catching like a top 10 most wanted criminal or whatever. So I click on it, of course, like a jackass. And it was down in Cheyenne and they had arrested a guy that was, he was wanted on a aggravated assault and battery charge and a misdemeanor destruction of property charge. So you got a felony and a misdemeanor, and he's the top 10 most wanted. And then the cop is sitting outside of the house, so he knows where the guy lives, right? He waits for him. The guy comes out with two of his buddies. Now, this guy's got to be a genius, because how does he not like look outside the house and go, "Oh, there's a fucking sheriff sitting right over there across the street"? And he just goes on and tries to roll up he tries to get in the car. The sheriff goes over and arrests him, and they're commending this guy for his great police work. They made him a T-shirt. They even put up a fucking picture I mean, I kind of wrote him a scathing little review on that article. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, this is what it takes. I mean, like, who did they move up to make the top 10 now that this guy out of the top 10 is in jail? They put a $3,000 cash bond on his head. That's top 10 criminal in Wyoming. $3,000? Jesus Christ, I had $100,000 on my head. Cash. I mean, this guy, $3,000, and he can't even post it. That's a hell of a criminal right there. You don't even have $3,000 or anybody that could get him out of jail for three. I mean, come on. I mean, I guess he's got his arraignment on Wednesday or something. I read it and I just felt like I'd just been like used. I mean, it's like the top 10 most wanted in Wyoming is a guy that they're looking for an aggravated assault and battery and a misdemeanor destruction of property. I don't know. Maybe he fucking beat up Paul Pelosi. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. I don't know who he beat up. Who knows? Maybe something bad happened from it. I don't know. I didn't even, after reading that, I was just like, Jesus Christ. That's how pathetic it is out here. Like in the cities, you've got these cops that are just letting, these murderers go. It's not the cops, it's the DAs. And then you come out here in the middle of America and shit, and I mean, they're arresting everybody for any little fucking thing, man. Jaywalking, fucking spitting on the sidewalk, looking at somebody funny, I mean, you got these officers stick butts running around, beating up little kids and shit, dragging them out of car windows. It's fucking insane. I mean, we'll get into that more. You've all seen it anyways. And I know that some of you have your way of looking at it, and some of you are, some of you actually have a brain on your fucking head, like some kind of fucking, a fucking hamster wheel going in there, rather than, reading the dumb shit that these morons put out on social media, talking shit about people that, I mean, there's no reason for fucking little kids to get fucking set up and, drug out of car windows and shit and fucking threatened and screamed at and fucking, almost have their fucking arms fucking dislocated. But hey, we got to fucking justify spending all this money anyways, I mean, come on. I mean, every little town needs, SWAT vehicles and a goddamn jail that's, bigger than any building in town. And then, got to have a website so everybody can get on there the next morning and look at everybody who got charged with something from the night before. And then, then the rumor mill gets going. The sewing circle starts up. The hens start clucking. They start sending screenshots around to everybody. And you got some poor guy that just got a fucking charge. He didn't even get convicted yet. And all of a sudden he's guilty. No retractions ever printed. Somebody gets exonerated. They, get wrongfully charged for something. It doesn't say on the front page of the paper, oh, such and such exonerated, found not guilty, no wrongdoing whatsoever. It doesn't even matter at that point, though. See, that's the thing. Even if they were to do that, which they don't, you get exonerated in this fucking town, and there's no retraction. They don't get on the radio in the morning and say, hey, by the way, so-and-so was found not guilty on all charges, exonerated, free to go, and that was a screw up. There's no apology issued for all the fucking shit you had to go through. You got your fucking mugshot put out there on that fucking website, the worst moment of your life. You're just automatically guilty. It doesn't matter one way or another. And that's the way people look at you from then on. They see you, oh, did you hear about, that's all it is around this town is you hear about that, you hear about this, you hear about that. There's no good stories, it doesn't seem like anymore, I love watching, there's a couple different guys on YouTube that do videos where they go around and they hand out money to people that'll help them. They'll go up and act like there's one guy, he goes, hey, excuse me, sir, excuse me. I just tripped and fell, man. I sprained my ankle. I'm just trying to get my groceries across the street. I just need help getting across the street. Can you help me? And got a homeless guy gets up, helps him, helps him get his cart across the street. And then the dude stands there and jumps up and the guy's like, what is this? Some kind of, and the dude pulls out $500,000, whatever, and hands it to him. Says, I was just waiting to see who the first person was who would help me out today. And I was going to give him $500 or $1,000 or whatever. And I know that these guys are making money off the hits on YouTube because people like watching that. And I like watching it. I always hit a like button. I don't care. I think it's awesome. Whatever. And if they're making a buck off doing it, then that's cool as shit, There's another cat, big old guy that he does all kinds of goofy stuff. He's hilarious, man. I'm trying to remember his name, but he does stuff like that too. He'll go out and he goes out and dresses up like Snurdly and he'll go down to like a black neighborhood and ask if he can get in on a game, These guys are looking and laughing at him and game on, and all of a sudden he's dumping threes, he's dunking, and that's great. I think I like seeing stuff like that, and I don't mean to focus on the negativity, but the thing is we got to understand what's going on and underneath our noses too, you know what I mean? Like you can't just sit there and act like ignorance is bliss and that this is all okay. Because it affects each and every one of us. I mean, all this stuff that's going on with these fucking crooked, shady politicians and, everything in the government that goes on is pretty much shady. It's all just meant to get money out of you. That's all it is. You go down to that courthouse, what do they want? They want your money. You get pulled over, what do they want? Your money. You get pulled over for doing a couple miles an hour over the speed limit. And did you know that if you're out there at night, say you're out there at 2 a.m. and you're driving along and there's nobody around and you happen to swerve in and out of a lane, that's not grounds to pull you over. Unless you're impeding traffic coming the other way or somebody in front of you or causing harm for somebody. If you're out there on the road by yourself, which around 9 o'clock at night in this town, it's dead anymore. It's going on the 4th of July and there is nobody here. Why is that? Because nobody can afford to go anywhere. This is a town that it thrives on tourism. No one wants to come here. The locals don't want to go out. They're scared to death because you got a fucking, weaponized fucking police department. I mean, you can guarantee that if you go out after 9 or 10 o'clock at night in this town, you're going to get followed around by a cop somewhere. They got nothing better to do. And they got way too many of them. It's a little fucking sleepy ass town. And there's nobody here. There's nobody here. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you get a citation for any fucking stupid. I mean, they'll write you up for any fucking thing they can think of. I mean, I got a warning I just replaced one of my license plate illuminators, right? One of them had a plastic shroud. The other one that I bought at the parts store didn't. And I mean, I just got a warrant. I just took a piece of tape and put it over it. I'm like, there, are you happy? Dude's trying to tell me that that license plate illuminator was blinding him. Well, he was so close. He was tailgating me so close for fucking like 6 blocks. He told me it was blinding him while he was. It's a little teeny bulb. You could sit there and put your eyeball right up on that thing, and it's not going to even bother you. You know, it's just the way it came from the parts store. It didn't have you get a warning for that. What? Pfft. I grabbed some tape and was like, there. The tape fell off. I should probably go out and retape it. I'll probably get pulled over again for it. God only knows. I mean, it doesn't matter. Any little fucking thing, man. And they just make it up. It's such a crooked bunch of shit. You know, one of these days we're going to wake up and realize how badly we've been duped. One of these days we're going to understand the agreements that we've entered into. One of these days we're going to understand that, you know, if we stop hating each other, that we're actually the ones that are in charge of shit, or we should be. We can tell the government and all them to go fucking kick rocks, you know? I mean, they're doing shit to us that's absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason that you should have to go in and keep spending more money every year on a driver's license. You know, I think, like I said, mine was $45 this year. They're like, well, you get it for 5 years now. It's like, who cares? It's like, I've been driving since I was 16 years old. I said, I've not had a moving violation. I mean, what the, you know, it's like, and then you pay insurance. Your insurance premiums go up. Like I said, if somebody was able to start an insurance company where you just charge somebody straight up, you know, they ask for a quote, you give them a quote for the year, they pay their yearly premiums straight up. Don't do it month by month, just year flat out. And by the next year, if there's been no claim, guess what? Your insurance carries over. If you could start an insurance company like that, you would run the insurance game, but they're not going to let you do that. No, because it's all a crooked game. It's just like the fucking mafia. You are paying the insurance company in case shit happens. And like Chris Rock said, if shit don't happen, shouldn't I get my motherfucking money back? And then you pay off your vehicles. But every year you got to go down there and you got to pay to have a little sticker put on your fucking vehicle. You know, I mean, for what? I paid for that shit. I own it, and here I am every year. I got to pay the sticker tag, sales tax on that thing, so I can drive it around with my little license and everything. You know. You're starving to death. You can't go catch a fish. You're going to get a ticket and they're going to take your fish. They don't give a shit if you're starving to death. They don't give a shit if your house just burned down and you only got one shoe and half a pair of pants on that burned off and you're out there with a fucking shoestring trying to catch a fish. You catch that fish and you get, you know, where are you going to cook it? You light a fire, put your fire out, take your fish, write you a ticket. Now you're going to the court. I mean, to me, that's natural law right there. Like if a motherfucker's starving to death and destitute and doesn't have anything, you should be able to go catch a fish and eat it. You should be able to go out there and kill a deer with a rock. Hell, they're all over town. You want to eat one of the mangy motherfuckers? Go ahead. They have a team of guys that the taxpayer pays, the deer team or whatever, out there with their tactical jackets on. When it comes time, they go out and start killing these things. These guys wandering around in their deer, I don't even know what the hell the jacket says. I saw them once. It's like, are you shitting me? I mean, but if you're hungry, though, you can't go out and kill one. But your tax dollars can pay for those guys to go out there and take them out, you know. I mean, you just look at everything that you have to pay for. Your city bill. There's like $97 a month on your city bill that you'd have to pay no matter. It's just taxes and fees. That's not the electricity or the water that you used. That's just to get you going. Same with your gas bill. Taxes, fees. Look at your cell phone bill. Taxes, everything. Taxes, fees. Then the government wants to raise the taxes on you. The city raises the tax on you. You know, I mean, the state sales tax in Wyoming is only 5%, but still, you think about that. That means that every $20 you spend, that's a buck that goes into the coffer. Yet they don't have money to do anything. They can't plow the roads. They don't have money for this. They don't have money for that. They just whine and snivel. You go by wherever they're working on something and you got 7 guys standing over the hole. One poor guy's down there actually shoveling shit and the other guys are leaning on the shovel, chewing Copenhagen and bullshitting with each other. You got a guy in a truck over there in the AC on. You got, You know, the guy in the cab of the excavator, where he's sitting there, you know, smoking cigarettes. You know, you got one guy down in the pit that's actually working. I mean, whatever. I mean, if that's, you know, I guess if you can get paid whatever they get paid to do nothing, then that's how it goes. I mean, there's too many bullshit jobs out there. You know, everybody's got this notion that, oh, you got to get a job. It's like, I swear to God, we spend probably more money on people actually having jobs than we would just spend on just giving somebody, you know, here's your UBI. Money ain't real anyways. It's fake. It's so phony. It's all so fucking phony. And meanwhile, the prices of everything just go up and up. Inflation goes up. We keep electing these same jackasses and we expect different results. It's so retarded. Sorry, am I not supposed to say that word? But really, that's what it is. I'm not talking about, you know, I'm talking about a mentality here. A slow mentality. Like when you're so stupid that you just keep, I mean, you go out and you step on a rake and then you turn right around and you didn't pick the rake up, but you turn around and the next time you go out the house, you step on the fucking rake again. And you just do that every day. I mean, you know, and then you listen to the politicians, the same old shit. You know, it's just like the guy that was running for fucking high school fucking class president. There's going to be Mountain Dew in every pop machine. I'm going to make better food and blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, fucking that guy, man. He ain't going to do shit. He didn't even allow in the school board meetings. They don't give two shits about that guy. He's got no say in anything. They just put him up there at a pep rally to get the kids all wound up, you know? You know, get the school spirit going, right? Sing the song. It's no different on a national level. Sing the song. Get wound up. Go to a rally. Go vote. Nothing's going to change. You ain't going to get Mountain Dew on every street corner. The cheeseburgers aren't getting any better. Gas prices aren't going to drop. Once the shit goes up, it doesn't go down. That phony jackass is bragging about how the gas prices went down. Well, what did he do? He took all the fucking reserves that we had and put them on fucking ocean liners and sent the shit to China and Europe. Yeah. To make the prices go down. In the meantime, we go down there to Venezuela and we get that tar oil from them, that stuff that's just junk. And they put it on the tanker and ship it up here and it goes down to Texas to the refineries and all that fucking shit, you know, billows out of the refinery. Do they care about the environment at that point? Rather than using the oil that we have under our feet right now? No. We go get this shit from Venezuela. And then that guy goes over there and begs with the fucking Saudis. You got to sell us more oil. And he's driving around in a Corvette and flying on fucking... How much fuel do you think Air Force One takes? He should not be allowed to fly. Why do we allow this? Anybody? Is there any reason why Joe Biden needs to fly any fucking where? He needs to either go to his fucking beach house and stay in his basement, and he could just do everything from a Zoom call. There's no reason to put him out there in front of anybody. There's no reason to fly that geriatric mushhead all over the globe. Why? So he can go say, God save the Queen? So he can shake hands with ghosts so he can fall down and blame a fucking sandbag so he can fall off a stationary bike? So he can fall upstairs? I don't know. Allegedly, you all voted for him in majority. I'm not saying that my listeners did. All 2.3 of you. But, and then it's almost insulting that this guy's going to run again. That's what I'm saying. RFK is, I mean, I think at this point, that's where I'd go. And I mean, he's got, you know, at least he's got some ideas and he doesn't seem to be a fucking megalomaniac or a fucking lying, fucking hair sniffing fucking child molester. I mean, that's all fucking Biden's ever done. You know, I don't even know. I wonder what portion of you people out there that, you know, the 32% of you out there that are, you know, giving him a thumbs up. Way to go, Joe. I think that's all just contrived. I don't think I've talked to a single person that I know that would say that the dude's doing a great job. I mean, he's a racist. I mean, his track record proves that. For fuck's sake, the guy eulogized Robert Byrd, the grand cyclops of the KKK. That was his mentor. Said he didn't want his kids growing up in a racial jungle when it came to bussing students around, you know? Said that poor kids are just as smart as white kids. He told black people that they needed to go home and turn up the record player for their kids at night. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? If you don't vote for him, you ain't black. Says that to Charlemagne. I mean, come on, man. And then he wants to sit there and say that white supremacy is the biggest terrorist threat to the fucking country? Who sees that? Who sees that? I don't see it. I don't think any of my friends that are from, you know, different racial backgrounds than me, I don't think they see it either. I don't see it. And the Democrats, they're the ones that were the KKK, for fuck's sake. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And everybody gets so wound up about all this dumb shit. It's just fucking frustrating as hell. And then they just keep taking money, you know, that doesn't even exist in the first place. But no, I mean, it's one of those things. You got to have it, right? Even though it's fake. Even though it's fake, you got it. I mean, how much misery does that cause? And that drives me nuts to sit there and think about that I got to be concerned about something that doesn't even really exist. But I got to have it. So you got to play the game, right? You got to play the game. You got to figure out how to make it, right? You look at these businessmen. All they are is a bunch of cheats. They cheat everybody. They don't give a shit. They'll cheat you, cheat everybody. They you know, I mean, everything that they produce, these phones. Why do you think there's a new iPhone now every year? It's because they want you to spend, and now you're spending what, $1,000, $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 on a piece of plastic that some poor person over in China is making and wanting to jump out the windows, but they can't even jump out the window at the factory now because they put suicide nets around the place, so they just bounce right back up in there. You can imagine that, how demoralizing that must be. But we don't care about those people, right? We don't give a shit about those people because they're over there. They're just Chinese people. Who cares? You know, they're making our iPhones and our iPads and shit, right? Hell, I've got fucking 2 of them sitting right here. I got an iPad. I got a goddamn MacBook. I got fucking, Jesus Christ, I got all this shit. Thank God they're making that stuff, making 13 cents an hour and wanting to jump out the window and kill themselves. Must be some kind of life. I feel for people, you know, I mean, and we want to sit here and act all nationalistic and have all our American pride and everything. For what? Not a single one of us did anything. None of us did anything. Who did anything? You write the Constitution? You come over here and steal all this land from the Native Americans? Do you enslave a whole race of people? A couple races? Do you enslave the you know, black people, Irish, Chinese? I mean, it's crazy. Everybody's got this perception of what this country is, and it's not. It's not that. And trust me, it's not land of the free, home of the brave. You can say that. You can call me. I'm not unpatriotic. I love the people. I love the country. You know, but I tell you what, I don't love is the lies that we just are told every single fucking day that are pounded down our throats, and we get it. From the time we start school, when we're what? I mean, now, you know, kids are going to preschool because, hey, mom and dad both have to work to make ends meet. So as soon as you can get that kid off to preschool or something, I mean, you can't afford to send them to daycare, but preschool, hey, that's, you know, you can at least, you know, get a little discount on that. I mean, kids are taught this shit from the time they're 4 or 5 years old until they go through high school. And then if they go to college, boy, then they get it even, you know, they get it even better from those fucking jerk offs. Those, you know, the college professors are really something. You know, you can't even think critically in the university setting anymore if you're not falling in line with the bullshit that they're selling you. Same within high school too, you know. I mean, I saw a deal the other day where they had a pride something at some school. This is middle school. A bunch of the kids dressed up in red, white, and blue, and they went in and started chanting, USA is my pronoun. And, oh, that's a disruption. And, well, isn't having people wearing rainbow shit in there and having a pride march, isn't that disruptive to the kids that are straight? Why should that be something that's even in school? It's not something that should be in school. That's not what school is for. It's taking our kids and politicizing them. It's taking our kids and using them for political measures. And these fucking idiots at the teachers union, they're all over it, you know. I mean, it's crazy. You got little kids going to drag queen fucking lunch brunches and shit. Like, hey, if you're an adult, you want to go, good, go, have fun. Knock yourself out. You don't take a 6-year-old kid to that shit. You don't mutate kids, block them from having, from going through puberty. I mean, come on, this is just common sense, and it's so uncommon. It's so uncommon, and I'm not talking about I don't hate anybody. I don't care. I mean, you're a grown-ass person, and you want to do what you're going to do, good. Are you happy? If you're happy, I'm happy for you. But you don't go and take, I saw some little kid the other day that they'd done this shit. They put fake tattoos on this little baby. And the woman did this just to gain views and attention, right? And she made it sound like, they made it look like this was like she'd had this kid tattooed up. She's using this kid. She's got fucking closets full of fucking, designer clothes and everything because she's making a shit ton of money off all the fucking views she's getting. But what she's doing is she's taking her little baby. This kid's in fucking Pampers, and she's using this little baby by covering the kid in fake tattoos and goofy hairdos and everything and making Instagram posts and shit. She's capitalizing off this kid. What's this kid going to turn out like? She's having a great time with it, but you're not raising a kid to learn do anything. This is the society that we live in, people, and it's absolutely ridiculous. It's insane. We've lost our way, and I don't know that we ever get it back. And it's not that change. Change is a part of life, things are going to change. That's fine, but it needs to change for the better. And I don't see anything changing for the better right now. You know what I mean? Minds can change. Everybody changes. Everybody goes through change in their life. Everybody, you gain different perceptions. That's what I love about reading and different. You get to see the world through the eyes of somebody else, because without that, you're just going to see it through your own lens. We all got to walk a mile in somebody else's shoes, and I got no problem with that. But when it gets constricted down to this is what you're going to think, and if you think otherwise, then you're going to get shut down, you're going to get fucking censored, you're going to get labeled as this, that, or the other thing. If somebody's saying shit that's fucked up, then you should be able to have a debate with that person. It's like that doctor that had been on Rogan. He refuses to have a debate with RFK Jr. He could sit there and say that what the guy's saying is just, blasphemy or whatever, but if that's the case, then why wouldn't you want to have a sit down and show everybody that the dude's wrong? They signed an act in 1986 that basically it took the onus off of any pharmaceutical company that came out with vaccines. So they said that if there's any kind of harm, injury, or anything that comes from a vaccine, these companies aren't responsible. That's why they shut down ivermectin. That's why they shut down, resveratrol and hydroxychloroquine. Because they couldn't have that shit out there. Because if there's an existing drug, an existing remedy that's out there, then people got to be allowed to use it. Well, that cuts out of their profits. So how many billions do you think that Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson made? And are still making from this thing? I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. You need to use your noodle a little bit. Even if you're wrong, even if you're thinking and you're wrong, at least you're thinking. And if you're thinking and you're wrong, then you've got the ability and the capacity to, to admit it when you're wrong. I do it all the time. It's part of life. You make mistakes. That's how you learn. You don't just buy into what everybody tells you, just mindlessly just buy into it. Sit there and watch fucking TikTok and just fucking flip your fucking thing. I just don't even like looking at the phone anymore, to tell you the truth. I got 2 of them sitting right here and they're both off. And that's the way I prefer to keep them. I just, there's nothing good really that comes on that phone except that maybe the weather report. And if I'm out on my dirt bike, I can put Spotify on. I like that Spotify. Other than that, yeah. I know this is going out on the book face and all that, but you really got no choice. You got to play a little bit. You got to pay to play, right? Anyway, I was going to talk about some other stuff, but I just got off on a tangent like always. How about that? Weird, huh? See, I admit it. I rant, I rave. I get wound up and get going on things. And that's probably not a great quality, but guess what? It is what it is. I would encourage everybody to do more of that. Think about things. I mean, don't be afraid to be vocal about it. You see something that's wrong or fucked up, call it out. What do you got to lose? This shit of just being quiet and just accepting things and just saying, oh, it's going to get better. It's not going to get better if you just keep rolling over and taking it. If you just keep rolling over and playing the same fucking stupid game, it's not going to get better. Everybody wants to talk about the founding fathers, blah, 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 blah. Well, how did that all come about? I mean, for better or worse or whatever it was, I mean, I don't think the history books are accurate at all about any of it, It is what it is, but those guys they had to stand up, sacrifice. They had to, stand tall and you have to. You can't just sit there and be scared. Scared money makes no money. That's what my boy Tweet used to always say. What up, Tweet? Maybe you'll see this. He used to say that shit all the time. Scared money makes no money. And he was right, because he'd lose all the time. But I tell you what, when he hit, boy, you get him good, I mean, you got to take the shot. It's like they say basketball. If a shooter's in a shooting slump, you got to keep shooting. You got to shoot your way out of it. It's like playing baseball, or golf. You got the shanks. You got to keep hitting the ball. You got to get out of your head. Just keep doing it, But if it goes the other way too. If you're just going to sit there and accept the bullshit, I don't know of too many people that are happy right now. Ask yourself that. Are you really happy with what's going on right now? Are you happy with the amount of money that you got to spend at the grocery store to get groceries? Are you happy with the amount of money you're spending to put clothes on your kids' back? Are you happy at the amount of money you spend on rent or your mortgage? Are you happy on your taxes? Are you happy about, the cost of fucking car parts, tires, everything? They say you're making more money. No, you're not. When the inflation is more than the money that you're making, you're not making more money. And they can sit there and say they're creating jobs and everything else, but just by letting people go back to work, that's not creating jobs. Joe Biden hasn't created a fucking job, period. It's all lies. It's bullshit. And everybody believes all the shit that they hear, and they watch the DNC and the CNNs and, turn this shit off. I'm not behind Fox News either. I don't watch that. I don't watch that shit either. You got to find your news independently. To tell you the truth, I probably watch more left-leaning independent news than I do, stuff that's on the conservative side. I try and give it each an equal shake. Like to see what's in the middle. How are you gonna? You kind of got to pay attention to all of it. But when you watch the shit that's on the mainstream, it's just garbage. Because really, on either side of the fence, it's just junk. It's all out there to invoke emotions in you, to get you upset at, that son of a bitch up the street, he's got a blue sign, I've got a red sign, I don't like your hat. I don't know. I'd like to say that on election day we just have that be like national cookout day. Everybody, invite your neighbors. Go over and talk to people you've never talked to. How many people, I'd like to ask this, how many people out there have a neighbor on one side or the other of them and have lived in the same place for, let's just say, over 5 years, and you don't even know that person's name? A lot of you, right? Here's my challenge. Go over and introduce yourself. It doesn't matter what anything they are. If they don't look or act like you, or that's even better. It's even better. Go over and introduce yourself. You'd be surprised. You'd be very much surprised. With that, I'm going to bounce out. And, from 52 miles east of Coyote, Wyoming, or east of Jellystone Park in Coyote, Wyoming. The guy sounded like Biden, just making shit up. Goddamn kids stole all my X-Lax. Oh, now my sound effects don't work. There he is.
Dang kids, no good.
There's your president for you right there. All right. So as I was saying, that was a nice recovery, right? Having the fart button and the old man button. From 52 miles east of Jellystone Park in Coyote, Wyoming, I bid you adieu. Be good or be good at it. In all things, be kind and do no harm. And let's see.